The chandelier lights shimmered like 1,000 tiny stars above the grand ballroom, but no one noticed their glow because all eyes had already shifted toward one corner. A group of wealthy businessmen and high society women stood in a circle, laughing, sipping champagne. Their attention fixed on a man whose presence seemed to dominate the room. He was Alexander King, the arrogant billionaire whose fortune and reputation filled headlines. Sharp suit, cold eyes, and an ego that filled the space louder than the music, Alexander carried himself as though the entire world were a stage built just for him. And tonight, his performance was about to humiliate someone, or so he thought. At the edge of the room, weaving quietly between the glittering gowns and tuxedos, was a young waitress. Her name was Lily. She balanced a silver tray of glasses with steady hands, though her heart carried 1,000 burdens. She wasn't just working for tips, she was working to survive. Her mother lay in a hospital bed, the bills piling higher than the rent notice already taped to their front door. Every night Lily worked until her feet throbbed. Every morning she whispered to herself that things would somehow get better. Still, despite the weight of life, her spirit refused to break. But arrogant eyes had already found her. Alexander leaned back in his chair, smirking as his companions whispered. "Watch this," he said. His voice carried across the room as he raised his champagne glass. "You, waitress!" Lily turned, startled. The entire room froze with her. "I dare you to dance. Right here, in front of us all. Surely even a girl like you has at least that much talent." Laughter followed, cruel and sharp, echoing against her ears. For a moment, her throat tightened. Memories of school came rushing back, being mocked for her second-hand clothes, for being too poor to join dance classes even though dancing had been her dream. She'd always practiced in secret, barefoot on the cracked floor of her small apartment, and now, in this moment, he wanted to make her a spectacle. But Lily took a deep breath. Something inside her shifted. If he wanted to humiliate her, she would give him something unforgettable instead. She set down her tray, straightened her back, and walked to the center of the ballroom floor. Gasps rippled. "You want to dance," she said softly, her voice steady though her heart thundered. "Then I'll give you one." The musicians looked at each other, unsure, but Lily nodded once and the music began. At first, the crowd chuckled, expecting clumsy steps, but then Lily moved. Graceful, powerful. Every motion spoke of struggle and strength, sorrow and hope. Her arms swept through the air like wings breaking free from chains. Her feet struck the floor with rhythm that seemed to rise from her very soul. The ballroom fell silent, jaws dropping as the poor waitress transformed into something radiant before their eyes. Alexander's smirk faded. For the first time, he wasn't in control. His companions leaned forward, breathless as Lily spun, eyes glistening but unbroken. She danced not for them, not for him, but for herself. For every tear she had swallowed, every night she had worked through hunger, every dream she refused to bury. When the final note rang, the silence lingered, heavy and stunned. Then applause erupted, thunderous, unrelenting, echoing through the crystal walls of the ballroom. Lily stood tall, chest rising and falling, tears threatening her eyes, but pride holding them back. She had not been humiliated. She had triumphed. But Alexander, his face burned with something no one had ever seen from him before. Shame. He rose slowly, his arrogance stripped away by the truth he could not deny. In that moment, the billionaire who thought he owned the world had been humbled by a waitress with nothing but her courage. He stepped forward, awkward, almost human. "I misjudged you," he murmured, his voice cracking for the first time. Lily met his eyes, steady and unshaken. "People like you always do," she replied softly. The crowd fell silent again, her words cutting deeper than any applause could heal. She picked up her tray, held her head high, and walked out of the circle, leaving Alexander and his glittering world behind. From that night forward, stories spread, not about the arrogant billionaire, but about the waitress who stunned the entire ballroom. Some said she was discovered by a talent scout that very evening. Others whispered she was offered opportunities she had only dreamed of. But the truth that mattered most was this: Lily never stopped dancing, never stopped believing, and never allowed anyone to define her worth again. And to everyone watching right now, let Lily's story remind you, no matter how small you feel, no matter how others try to belittle you, your courage and talent can silence even the loudest voices of doubt. So if this story touched your heart, give this video a like, share it with someone who needs hope, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories that will move and inspire you. Because sometimes, one act of courage can change everything.